3, 2, 1.
And now, you're tuned into the Navarro-Miller Report, featuring the hottest in news, entertainment, sports, and all those topics for the mainstream audience. The Navarro-Miller Report.
Examine your reality.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Navarro-Miller Report. I'm your host, Dave Navarro.
And I'm Jeremy Miller.
And we have a special musical guest, our special guest co-host right here, Amanda Holley. Amanda, welcome back to the Navarro-Miller Report.
You know I love hanging out with y'all.
I know, right? Well, we love
it. We're glad to have you back.
It's better than me seeing this guy all the time. I mean, I need a breath of fresh air sometimes.
Back at you, my friend. It's nice to have somebody separating us.
I know, right? Well, wonderful to have you back. I actually looked back, and it turns out that we actually had you on our second episode of the Navarro-Miller Report. You were our first guest, actually, on the Navarro-Miller Report, so it's great to have you back. And I know we're going to be featuring your latest music video, Fav Flavor, that is out right now on YouTube. Plus, we're going to talk with you a little bit about what's going on, what projects you got going on. But before we get into all of that, we got a lot of stuff to cover today on this week's episode. Happy late Easter to everybody out there. I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter. I had a wonderful Easter. I mean, it was a great time not spending it with Jeremy. So, I mean, it was.
I know this is the first holiday I haven't had to put up with you in a while. So this was kind of nice. It was a break.
I hope you had a wonderful Easter. I hope you had a wonderful Easter as well, Amanda. How was your Easter?
Hectic, actually. It wasn't really, we had to deal with some other stuff. Not really a day off at all, but it was fun nonetheless. It always is, but
Nice.
Not my typical Easter, because I think I mentioned that I'm Black and Italian, and my mom's family is Italian, and we always have a really big Easter extravaganza. But that's on the East Coast. So out here, but we actually ended up doing a lot of like off day stuff, but like for business too at the same time. It was interesting. Anyway, long answer.
I understand that completely.
Nice. Well, I mean, I'm glad. I mean, it's always Easter is always a great time for family to get together. I mean, for us, my culture, our tradition, we basically feel that Easter is actually the official beginning of spring. We all know that spring starts at different moments, but for us, Easter is the official day of spring for it to start. So, I mean, it was good. My dad and I, we hung out here. So, it was a special day for us, especially, like I said, not being anywhere near Jeremy is always a special thing. So
I was glad to provide that for you, brother.
Well, getting started here. Wanted to welcome everybody to the stream right here to the show. And to get things started, to kick things off, Amanda, you weren't here when we started this brand new little topic that we began here. It's pretty much hashtag Jeremy get a freaking TikTok, because he doesn't have a TikTok. What we do is, he doesn't. He really doesn't. It's crazy.
I understand it, though. It took me forever. I just started mine.
She's doing well, though. She's doing well, though. That's a good thing.
I have no doubt.
I'm like the Phantom of the Opera, y'all. Like, I will sit and play and say, I'm locked away in my little creative hovel unless I'm on a show. And otherwise, with social media, it's a lot for me, because I have anxiety disorder and stuff. So it's weird to be but I love my fans. That's the best part. So starting the new one, at first it gave me a little anxiety because TikTok is way more personal. But now I'm having so much fun because I'm building a little community and everybody's so amazing and beautiful. Yeah. So you need to get on there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Still resistant.
Well, because he's resisting, I have to actually have to force him to watch blind reactions here. I bring some videos from TikTok. He doesn't know what these videos are about. Nobody knows what these videos are about. And I play it for them so that way we could get your reaction on this. Now, this one actually has to do with kind of a dad joke. And it has to do with the play on words. Check it out.
I got stabbed with a knife. What? Reese. No, with a knife.
So basically, it was a joke. It was like, she was like, yeah, celebrity got stabbed. And she's like, Reese? And her family is like, with a spoon? No, with a knife.
Did you think we didn't
Oh my God, I
understand?
just got it. I just got the joke.
That was so bad. I love a good bad joke. That was awful. I love it.
I saw it. It was just like, I was just like, I got to go ahead and put that one in there. It's got to be a must.
You like that one, Amanda?
It was cute. It was cute. I was upset at first because I love Reese Witherspoon. I just got the joke. I literally was like, oh no. And I was like, with a knife. That's not funny. Why are they laughing?
Because we're just that mean.
Yes, we are just that mean. This
if I can be on TikTok, you can be on TikTok.
Right?
Okay.
That's hello. That's the whole thing right there. And I actually have had little battles with Amanda on TikTok, which is actually a lot of fun too. So
nice.
I have no idea what battle is, but we did it.
I'm kind of coaching her a little bit on the whole TikTok thing. So this other one actually has to do with a very innovative way of going shopping, getting a bunch of bags, and loading them on a scooter. You just have to see this to believe it. It's freaking hilarious. It's awesome.
Dude
I saw this.
Trying to do
I saw this.
groceries on a scooter. There's no way. You actually think he's gonna do it?
I don't know how possible, but I'm gonna learn this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are those?
Cute.
Is it carabiners? Those are carabiners. She is like, this lady's like, there's no way. I mean, all right. Kim, that's a safety vest, and he's put zip ties on it. This is Kim. He just put carabiners all over the back. Should we ask him if he needs help?
Yes, we should.
Hey, you need any help?
Yeah.
You good?
I got it, man.
I mean, you look like you've done it before, so.
Yeah, every week.
Alright. Have a good one.
Every week?
Every week, Kim. Every week he does this. He's legit got a watermelon.
He probably knows which bags away.
I know.
That's right.
He's strapping them up. What has he got in there? Some Doritos?
Those are Doritos, yeah.
I just cannot wait to see what he does with this watermelon.
I never thought of a technique like this, but it looks pretty good.
I mean, he's working it. Oh my gosh. No, I'm just watching. I just am impressed, dude. I'm impressed.
You're filming it right now?
Yeah, I'm impressed. This is incredible.
Hey, are you gonna put it on the internet?
Probably. Dude, you actually do this? This is for real?
Yeah.
All right.
If you don't have a car, it works well.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're paving the way for people without a car right here.
Here, you can help me.
What do you need me to do?
Can you just put these on my back? Sometimes those
Oh.
carabiners are hard to hit.
Yeah, dude. Here, Kim, hold this phone and.
See the carabiners?
Yep. God, you need to do another one?
Yeah. We almost got it all.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You care about video a little more? This is just incredible.
Nah, you're good.
All right.
On these rainy streets at that. You getting something else?
Kim, he's got a baby, what is that thing called? I don't have a baby. What is
carrier.
a baby carrier that he's doing the watermelon with, the baby carrier.
I cannot believe it. Must have children. He knows what he's doing.
I mean, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's legit.
I mean, he is very inquisitive. I mean,
I gotta roll my window.
baby sideways.
It works, Kim. Good work, dude.
Told ya.
I know, you're incredible.
Have a good day, man.
Have a good one.
And he's off.
And there he goes. There he goes. He's leaving. He's on his way home.
Okay, I'm seriously impressed. That is next level ingenuity there.
Making it work, you know.
I mean, if the guy doesn't have a car, somebody needs to start a GoFundMe for this guy. I mean,
yes, that'll be great. That's a great idea.
I got to say, that's absolutely amazing. And I love his, getting it done no matter what his circumstances are. But I'll tell you, having traveled in Asia an awful lot, they've been doing this forever.
With the scooter?
On bikes and mopeds, I have literally seen, in Vietnam, in South Korea and China, I have seen an entire family on a moped. I'm talking like 5-6 people all carrying bags, sometimes a crate of chickens or something else like that strapped to the back, and they balance it. And it's an incredible thing to see. So I got to tell you, they've been doing this for 50 years or longer in Asia. Wow, that was amazing. I gotta say.
Oh yeah, we have JC on our stream. He says, I saw the one of the scooter shopper on the news this weekend and it blew me away. I mean, yeah, it's something to be seen. Oh no, it's something to be seen. And Amanda, you got somebody that just yelled out your name, Amanda. Louis,
oh, hey Louis.
He's watching us on YouTube right now. We're actually on all platforms, so thank you for joining us there, Louis. This last one that I have actually has to do with a really bad prank on a mother. And this one, they went all out for this one. Check this out.
Hey, what happens to the music?
Thunderstorm.
This is an emergency alert message. This is not a test. This warning is for the following area. States located on the east coast of the United States and surrounding areas. A viral outbreak has occurred. Please stay in your homes and do not panic.
What was that?
Let me look it up. I don't see nothing.
I literally just seen how the car zoom off.
No, it's not saying anything about us.
Oh my god! Some crazy psycho lady literally just bit me.
Where?
Right here.
What the heck?
I tried to get her off of me, but I needed.
What is wrong with you?
Alex!
Mom! Wait for me!
The mom was like, kids, you're on your own. I'm out of here.
That's so cool, you guys.
That was absolutely awesome. But I have to say, although my mother would eventually laugh, when she figured it out, I'd have been dead first.
Yeah.
She would laugh later, but I would have been dead.
So cool.
Amanda, have you ever pulled a prank like that on your parents or anything like that? Have you ever pulled? I mean, you're a daughter. I mean, I'm sure you probably pulled pranks on your parents before.
Absolutely not.
Liar! I call lies.
No, absolutely not. Nope.
Oh man, no, that was a good one. That was actually a pretty good one.
I put a lot of work into that one. That was really good.
That's involved. That's very intricate.
And Lou is actually saying too far, but so good. My mother would be pissed.
Exactly, Lou.
Oh my God. That's pretty much what we do right here. We go ahead and show these TikToks. Glad to see that you guys enjoyed it. Love to see your reaction. But we're off and run into some pretty offlandish news going on in China. Something having to do with a man in China jailed for scaring chickens, Jeremy?
Yeah, so apparently there was a feud between neighbors. One neighbor cut down trees along, I guess, the shared border of these two properties, and the wife had the trees hauled away. So the neighbor who was pissed off, and he decided to go and frighten this guy's chickens. The problem is, apparently, he used light, and when it's dark out, apparently chickens are afraid of light. So he used a flashlight and started shining it into the pens, and the chickens ran away from the light and all piled up in one side. He killed 1,100 chickens.
Oh
by
my
doing
God.
this. 1,100 chickens to a tune of almost 14,000 yuan, which translates to around $2,800 worth of livestock this man killed on his neighbor's property. So not only is he going to have to pay that money back, but he's now in a Chinese prison for a neighborly feud.
Wow. And then later on, Popeyes called him and said, hey, let's talk business.
You're awful.
Sorry.
Terrible.
I mean, come on. They're chickens, for God's sake. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's not like
anyway.
I mean, if there's that many chickens in a smaller pen, they're not exactly raising them in the most humane way anyway, and they're probably being utilized for food, but it doesn't mean they deserve to die like that. And it seems that this guy knew what he was doing, because he actually came back and did it again. He killed almost like 600 the first night and like 500 the second night. So he's in deep trouble with the authorities there.
Amanda, have you ever scared chickens? Being honest, let's be honest here.
Never scared a chicken. Nope.
She's laughing about it though. She's like, but I thought about it though.
No, terrible. I'm not good enough to be vegan. I'm not strong enough for that.
Yeah.
My willpower is like not good when it comes to food. Like I said, Black Italian.
What? Okay, so what would be your favorite food?
What's that?
What would be your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
I really honestly can't say. I mean, I love any great food.
You do realize that Jeremy's a chef. He's a professional chef.
So I'm exactly with you on that. I have never been able to pick my favorite food because I love all great food. I love all great cuisines. I mean,
I love chocolate, which is probably why I ended up featuring it so much in the Fav Flavor video.
Nice.
Is that your favorite flavor?
Love chocolate. Got to feature it, and we got to eat it, me and my girls, for the video. You know, it was strictly for the video. We didn't enjoy ourselves at all.
Of course not. Of course not. Well, let me ask you, did you have to do so many takes that you got tired of eating chocolate?
No, we did not get tired of eating the chocolate.
It's like, no.
We had to do so many more takes just to make sure we got enough of the essence of the enjoyment of the chocolate on the set.
Understood.
It was such a terrible time, you know.
Oh, I'm sure it was a very difficult shoot. Very difficult.
Yeah.
And taking beauty shots. That was
oh yeah, no, that's no, yeah. Oh yeah, it's terrible. I feel so bad for you, Amanda. You know,
the fondue was torture.
Oh yeah, fond freaking do. Okay. Anyway, fond freaking do.
No, we legit lit up some fondue, like electric pot. But
you know, I've never actually had fondue. I've never actually had fondue. My entire life, I've never had it.
It's good.
You haven't lived.
I've apparently so. I have not.
Whether it's cheese fondue or chocolate fondue, you have not lived.
Now, like, I don't even know where to go around here for fondue. Jeremy?
I'll find it. Don't worry.
All right.
Yeah, actually, if you have any good fondue places, please let me know too. I usually
he's good at that.
Or go on the East Coast, and I need a good fondue spot here in LA.
Well, Amanda, let me tell you one thing. Thanks to this guy, I'm like ruined for many restaurants. Like, I mean, I actually used to go for my beef dip because I love beef dips. I used to get it from this place called BJ's Brew House, and then Jeremy's like, no. You if you want real good beef dip, let me just take you here. So
I took him to Felipe's, which is the place that created the beef dip over 100 years ago and is a legendary LA institution.
I've never been the same ever since. I was like, Jeremy, I hate you. You destroyed me for life now. Well, in other offlandish news, Jeremy, there's an issue going on with a baby name drama.
Yeah, a man has turned to Reddit asking for help. It's a very understandable situation. His wife wants one name, and he isn't real comfortable with it. You see, his wife's brother was named Charlie, and her wife's brother passed away years ago. And she very, very much wanted to name their son, after her brother, which I guess normally wouldn't be a problem. She wanted to name him Charles. The problem is the family's last name is Manson. So I kind of see the husband's point.
Psycho baby.
He
Oh my
really
God.
doesn't want to name his child Charles Manson. I think that's a reasonable thought.
That's valid. That's valid.
I mean, I understand the mom wanting to honor her brother, but you would doom that child to a life of torture and
that ain't cool. That's child abuse.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine this kid goes to school? Hi, my name's Charles Manson. Hi, Timothy McVeigh. Nice to meet you.
I mean,
Shit.
I can't even imagine what that first day would be like. The teacher sits up in front of class. Charles Manson. Wait a minute,
man. What the Manson?
Now, here's the thing, though. First thought I had was there's an easy compromise. Chuck? You make it the middle name.
Yeah.
That way, throughout life, the child won't have to deal with that. But you're still honoring your brother. And it won't be a name that he has to be called regularly and have all the issues that might go along with that.
And unless, of course, he wants to be called that for clout, you know.
Then they might have more problems on their hands than they were expecting.
Part 2.
Be like, hi, how's it going? Charles Manson, nice to meet you.
Well, think about it. I mean, things change when, these kinds of things happen. I mean, before the 1940s, Adolf was one of the most popular names in Germany. You don't exactly see that name popping up very often out there anymore. I wonder why.
No, that just reminds me of an SNL skit that they had not too long ago where they were doing like a news report, and behind them it was like a burning building of the name changing place, and one of them was like, hey, we're standing right here with this gentleman right here. His name is he was here at the name changing place. He saved a couple of people. Your name is Adolf, last name Hitler. It's like, yes, that's my name. It's like, yes, and oh no, Adam Hitler, something like that. And he's like, oh, but I don't like using my last name too much. That's why I came here to change. It's like, so just use my initials. So they put A Hitler as the initials at the bottom of the screen. And they're like, yes, we all love A Hitler. We all love Mr. Hitler.
Oh, that's awful. That is just awful.
I was laughing my ass off when I saw that skit. Best skit ever.
But honestly, I mean, events change how we look at those kinds of things, I mean, I think you have to take it into account. I understand the mom wanting to do that, but like you said, Amanda, it's almost child abuse what you're going to put that child through if you name him. Exactly.
I mean,
that's out of control.
I mean, my name is Dave Navarro. I mean, you can imagine how much freaking crap I always got growing up. So, oh, you're Dave Navarro, huh? You're married to Carmen Electra. No, I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, I don't know too much about that.
I didn't know there was a musical artist. Yeah, Dave Navarro was the lead guitarist for Red Hot Chili Peppers and Jane's Addiction.
Oh,
and he also had a reality show with his ex-wife, Carmen Electra. So that's why everybody's like, oh, Dave Navarro. And I'm like, no, I don't have his money. Wife. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I never knew that. That's funny.
It could be worse. It could be Jeremy Miller from Growing Pains. Anyway.
How did I know that was coming? Low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit, man.
Moving on to some other outlandish news. So basically, the ticker says it all. Man breaks penis. Man in Indonesia actually had to undergo emergency surgery after breaking his penis performing the world's most dangerous sex position. Now, this is the funny part. I personally wouldn't have thought that this particular position was actually dangerous up until I read this. The guy was actually him and his partner were doing reverse cowgirl. And apparently that is considered a very dangerous sexual position. According to experts, it looks like it actually is responsible for 50% of fractures when it comes to the male genitalia. In the report, it says an Indonesian man had to undergo emergency surgery after fracturing his penis while performing a notoriously risky sex position, which is him with an eggplant phallus. Left him with an eggplant phallus. So, poor guy. It seems that he's gonna have a little bit of an issue for a while now. I just don't know what else to say about this. I mean, the sexual position alone is what shocked me, to be honest.
It's like a health alert that goes out.
It should be. I mean, if you think about the
I mean,
technicalities of the position. I guess
no.
if a woman was moving too far, it would bend things in the wrong direction. As they've said, it's not a break given that there's no actual bone, but what happens is there's, ligaments and what they call corpules that are in there that pop, apparently.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's actually what it
So
said right here. It actually, the report says things went south after the man suddenly heard a loud cracking sound.
Mm-hmm. And
I know about this.
You sent me down the rabbit hole on this, and I had to look it up. Given they say it's extremely hard to actually track how common this is. Sorry, no pun intended. Dave's in second grade. I'm sorry.
How did I end up here?
It's not so hard for the guy anymore.
But they say that they expect that it's 1 in every 10,000 to 1 in every 100,000 men will experience this at least once in their life. That's more common than I would think it is.
That's
no comment. I'm gonna stay quiet on that one.
Like an Apple News alert, kind of like a heart disease.
I don't think it would be a bad idea.
Yeah, for a lot of guys especially.
Positions.
Oh yeah,
watch your positions, y'all.
It's like practice safe sex in more ways than one. Moving on to some entertainment news. Now, we all love Stranger Things, and we all know that this is the final season of Stranger Things. And many people are being left a little bit like, man, what's going to happen next? There was talks of spinoffs. In a sense, there is a spinoff, but in an animated version of it. Netflix has ordered actually for them to start production on an animated series of Stranger Things. Stranger Things created, this is off of Variety.com. Stranger Things creators, the Duffer Brothers, executive produced via Upside Down Pictures, along with Robles of Flying Bark, as well as Sean Levy and Dan Cohen of 21 Laps. Nearly all details about the show are being kept under wraps, aside from the fact that it was developed by Eric Robles and Flying Bark Productions. So far, we don't know the details of what exactly is going to be in the new animated series of Stranger Things, but I mean, it sounds like a pretty innovative idea given the fact of the matter that Stranger Things was so successful during its run. My question is, will they bring back the actual actors to do the voices of these characters, or are they even going to make it along the lines of what the show is about? I mean, Amanda, have you watched Stranger Things at all?
I have not.
She hasn't gotten into it yet.
In the world.
Oh,
okay. I'm usually that person.
You haven't lived. You gotta watch it.
I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it.
It's a real fun show. It really is. I gotta say, this is interesting.
Over here. Well, I have my shows, but that isn't one yet because when I get into something, I get like super.
You'll get into it.
Oh, it'll suck you right in. I understand. Well, I hope they do it justice. There's been a lot of shows, a lot of films, a lot of genres that have been turned into animated and hasn't worked out real well. Mm-hmm. There's been a few that have worked out really, really good. I mean, one off the top of my head would be the animated Clone Wars series. Got incredible reviews from fans of the genre. So I hope they do it justice. It's an interesting idea. And I mean, with it being kind of a horror kind of genre, they could have a lot of fun with it. So
I agree. We'll go ahead and see what happens with that, because I mean, honestly, I'm actually looking forward to it and seeing if in fact it'll do it justice, especially since this is the final season of Stranger Things. I'm wondering how this season's going to end and how they're going to incorporate the animated series into how everything ended. So, but we still have no idea. Stranger Things, supposedly the final season is supposed to start, I think, this summer, I believe. I don't know the exact date yet or if they've released it just yet, so I'm looking forward to that. In other entertainment news, Cardi B calls out the Dalai Lama and gets blowback. Now, as many people know, the Dalai Lama is under fire right now after a video posted of him asking a child to suck his tongue. It was a very disturbing video that the Dalai Lama has actually apologized for. Now, Cardi B is very angry about the situation, basically child predators, etc. Especially with that situation.
I kind of had heard about this before.
It's just all bad. It happened back in February, but it's actually seeing the light of day right now. And so far, people are actually calling Cardi B a little bit of a hypocrite, because she did admit to drugging and robbing men back in her strip club days. And here she is talking about, well, she's talking about right now, she's talking about how these kids are victims and all these other things. And it's just a lot of people are saying, you know, well, you used to rob people, you used to rob victims. These people are victims. She's actually doubling down and saying these guys were drunken adults trying to put their hands on me. It's a big difference between that and this. So yeah, she's doubling down on this right now. I mean, Amanda, obviously you're very outspoken about this situation. Tell me about what your thoughts on this whole situation.
Zero tolerance for child abuse in any capacity whatsoever. So I don't know too much about the situation, but I did kind of hear some rumblings in the past. So I'm not entirely surprised. I'm a little bit in shock because I was praying that there was no validity to what I heard about. But yeah, that's terrible. It's a completely different situation. Kids,
they're innocent.
Kids need to be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to support them, help them grow and love them and be a part of the force for good for children who need it, have no one else to stand up for them but us. You know, no. And then to abuse a child in any capacity, I don't care if it's a sentence. I don't care. Like, that's, you know, no bueno.
You draw the line right there, Jeremy.
I agree. I agree with you completely, Amanda. I mean, I'm on Cardi's side here, and many parts I take issue with is this idea that because you screwed up in your past, you can't comment now on someone else messing up. You know, she's not out there robbing people now. She's already said, you know, I mean, given she hasn't said she feels bad about it. In fact, she says she felt justified doing what she did to those guys. But it was something she did in her past. It's not something she's doing anymore. And the fact is, it bothers me that people are, you know, oh, you did dirt, so you certainly can't comment. What are you talking about? Everybody's done dirt. Everybody's got, you know, crap in their past. It doesn't mean you can't speak up when you see something that's not acceptable.
And she actually even comments on it. She to what people were talking about. She said, quote, "How are y'all bringing up a situation from my past when grown ass drunken men were trying to take advantage of me and finesse me out of my body because I said protect your kids from predators? Do y'all want them to get preyed on or something? Protect our kids and let them know not to let anyone touch their private parts. Don't let no one kiss them in their mouth, and always feel comfortable letting mommy and daddy know what happens. If you find a problem with that, then I'm side-eyeing you." That was her response to many people that are like, we're bringing their
hell yeah, I'm with her 3,000%.
No,
I love her.
And we got one of our viewers right here, JC, saying, "I agree with Amanda. This is horrifying. The second I saw the story, it made me physically ill. This is beyond the pale for the Dolly or anyone else for this matter." So we definitely agree with
really
that.
Like, y'all are getting a different side of me right now because I did not see it. I can't even right now.
No, it's terrible. And again, Cardi B sticking up because she's a mom. You know, she's a mom. I mean, Jeremy, you're a dad. I mean, these are situations where it's like, you know what? No, we can't allow that. I mean, I don't care if it's the Dolly on. I mean, look at priests. Look at priests, for God's sake. You know, they have to be held accountable for their actions.
It's like, how the hell are we in 2023? And yeah, this shit is still happening.
Agreed. Completely and 100% agreed. So, but we'll go ahead and keep an eye out on what exactly happens with the Dalai Lama on that subject. In other entertainment news, Ewan McGregor wants to have an Obi-Wan season 2. Now, as we all know, Obi-Wan season 1 was a spectacular success. And Jeremy, you and I talked about this before, how I like the way it ended it. I like the way it stopped and it was good, but apparently Ewan McGregor wants a second shot at Obi-Wan in season 2, but Lucasfilms doesn't think that it's right to go just yet. Now, I know, Amanda, you're probably not a Star Wars enthusiast, but here's what I'm looking at.
I liked, there was one I saw like as a kid with,
I'm about to feel old. I'm about to feel old. Huh? Which one?
No, you guys remember when they had the only one I saw was the one where there was like baby Luke, right?
Baby Luke. Oh yeah, you're talking about Revenge of the Sith. That's what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm
one that you were talking about.
This little boy. There was this little blonde boy.
Phantom Menace.
This Phantom Menace. You're talking about little Anakin, little Annie.
Yeah, that was so cute. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to watch Star Wars.
I'm old now. I'm officially old. She said she watched it when she was a kid. I'm old. No, that's my back just went out on me right now.
Yeah, we've kind of talked about this one a little bit. I mean, before Obi-Wan actually ended, before the last episode had premiered, Ewan McGregor was already talking about wanting to continue this saga and continue Obi-Wan's story here. Now, as we've said, the original idea from the producers, from the production team, from Lucas, was that this was going to be a one-off, that this was going to help tell a story and then they were going to be done with it. So given it was a huge success from a business standpoint, it makes sense to continue with it. But again, I can't fault Ewan. I mean, what actor doesn't want to continue working on something, that they really love? But 2, it's a character that he is now made iconic. I mean, he is thought of in the same sentence as Alec Guinness with this character. Mm-hmm. That's some pretty high company to be in, the original Obi-Wan. And, Ewan held his own and made this character his own. And now he is remembered as Obi-Wan as much as Alec Guinness ever was. That's an amazing accomplishment. And to have invested so much in a role like that, of course he wants to continue it.
And it was so funny because I was today years old when I first heard McGinnis coin the phrase "hello there." And then I hear Ewan McGregor do it, and I'm like, "That's where you got it from." Because this when Luke was knocked out, he's like, and he saw R2D2, and he's like, "Hello there," And then I hear Ewan say, "I was like, that's where you got it from." Okay, now I understand. So, yeah, it was yeah. But no, I agree with you. And I mean, Amanda, when it comes to the music industry, you can't really go back to certain things. I mean, that you've written, can you?
Go back and
do like a remake, like do a redo of something that you've written. So if you had an opportunity to go back and do maybe Runaway and remake Runaway and like do it a different way, you would go ahead and jump at an opportunity to do something like that.
I mean, I think if the piece is great, you can always take it in a different direction, whether it's for music, film, television, or for, literature. But yeah, I mean, I always do different arrangements of things that I've written or recorded. And then I always wish that I had done the latest version first. So, but yeah, you could totally do that.
I mean, have you ever thought like from all your, the music that you've done, you got Fav Flavor, you got Code, you got Runaway, you got a whole bunch of Feenin', you got all these songs.
It was my first record that dropped at Tommy Boy Warner Brothers, and OK Laws, who's one of my producers. He is XXL freshman class producer. He's super talented, and we actually have a bunch of records that we've been releasing together currently. OK Laws gave me that record, and we ended up getting 40 different remixes from all over the world. And the different DJs and producers had so many beautiful takes. And we have so many unreleased versions of that. And then Runaway and Code, I mean, I could see those going in different directions. And there are remixes coming for those. Fav Flavor, which we just dropped at Sony recently, even has a remix for my friend Alvin Anthony. And Alvin, and I wrote the song, sent all my vocals to Corey, OK Laws, and he killed the production. And Rich Royce, my friend Mike, he actually did the vocal production on that. And then we sent everything out to Corey. We got the production back, and then we sent it for a remix to Alvin. Alvin works a lot with Pitbull and like remixes for a lot of big artists. And he did this dope remix. And it's like, you know, that one's special. I've had a lot of new remixes submitted. And then I have a record that just dropped the other day called Ride or Die. And already we're getting remixes of that from all over the planet.
So in essence, you're saying that it can be done. You could go ahead and go back many different times.
I did a little acoustic session, and I didn't post it yet. It's coming soon, where I actually broke down a few of the songs, and it's just a straight piano vocal.
So then, in essence, there are definitely ways you could pick apart something, go back, redo it, and it might come back even better than before, or have a continuation of
a
it.
different energy, or a different take, a different life to it, because art is subjective, right? And art also is its own life. The art, the song, the film, the TV show. I've been starring on a reality show, which you know about, and we've taken different directions with that, you know, and I can't say which way I like it better. But yeah, that's what's so beautiful about it, though. So I could always empathize with an artist wanting to work his or her craft, or, you know, expand their artistic mind and soul in a different, beautiful way, because that piece will take on its own energy and its own life, and maybe it wants to expand through us in a different way.
Well, very well said. But unfortunately for right now, it looks like LucasArts is going to have to like put the brakes on another version of Obi-Wan of season 2, and we'll just have to see. I'm actually curious to see what direction they might take that one, you know, moving forward. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. In sports, actually, we're moving on to sports. Matt Hardy's brother, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy's brother is saying that Jeff Hardy may return to AEW in 6 to 8 weeks. Now, we all know that Jeff Hardy is battling demons, some serious demons. He actually just got arrested for another DUI. He has fallen off the wagon many times. The problem here is, I'm wondering, I mean, Jeremy, you're in recovery yourself as well. I mean, is this situation with Jeff Hardy, do you think that it's possible returning to wrestling, period, in front of thousands and thousands of people? Do you think that maybe could be a trigger to him getting like falling off the wagon over and over again, having to like travel from one city to another on the road, all that pressure, and then having to like put their bodies on the line, like put their bodies to all that like hardcore work? Do you think that these things might be triggering his addiction coming back?
That's a complicated question, because there are so many different triggers for so many different people. We have seen many wrestlers, many athletes who have gone down the road of addiction and made it out and still continued those careers. So I can't say whether it's really a trigger for him. All the things you stated are big deals in recovery. Extra pressure, you know, all of the travel and being away, the freedom of being away from all the people who hold you accountable. That also can be a trigger for a lot of people. You know, you get out on your own and you don't have the people that you're, you know, kind of keep an eye on you or help you out in your recovery, or who are your rocks in recovery. And you do something stupid. It's very possible. What I would think is the physical toll that it takes, especially in wrestling. We all know that wrestling is scripted, but the punishment that these guys' bodies take is not fake. You know, those rings are hard. The hardcore stuff they do, I mean, they're getting slammed with chairs,
I didn't know that. I figured
ladders.
It was fake.
No, it's hard as can be. These guys' bodies take an unbelievable amount of punishment. So that's the whole thing. Wrestling is not fake. It might be scripted, but it is not fake. The injuries these guys suffer are real. The pain their bodies go through for years is real. And a coping mechanism for that is often pills and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So having his body going through that again, all that punishment, and not being able to turn to his coping mechanism, which was most likely pills and booze, that is a trigger. That is a hard thing to get through. And he may need more than 6 to 8 weeks to mentally get past that. So I can't say whether it's a good idea or a bad idea for him. Recovery is individual to the person. The triggers are individual to the person. And every struggle is different. It really is. The things that can set you off. I mean, as just an example from my life, I found one of my triggers was cooking, because for so long, I always had a drink with me in the kitchen. So after years, when I finally got sober, the first time I was out barbecuing out back, my hand actually reached out to where I always kept my drink. I had no drink there, but subconsciously, without even thinking about it, I'm sitting out there and I'm grilling. I had my smoker going, and I reached out to grab that drink. So it was just something that was ingrained in me, and it was something I had to break. So again, I wish him nothing but the best, but recovery is different for everybody. I can't say what would benefit him in that situation or what wouldn't.
Now, Amanda, so I posed a question to you because I know that you're always traveling. I know that you got, you're on tour and things like that. I mean, would you think that the strain of touring, having to perform in front of people, the stress, the late nights, the sleepless nights, do you think that this would actually be something that would trigger, someone to go back into their addiction or not?
Personally, I don't partake in anything, only because I have a pretty crazy family history with addiction and mental illness. So I don't drink really much, like just a little bit, like with friends. I've never smoked weed. I'm not cool enough for that. My only high is music. But it is exhausting. The industry is exhausting, and being in both all music, TV, and film is extreme. And then there can be a lot of stress and trauma. And I am a survivor myself, so I'm very careful about getting into stuff. But I do have a lot of friends, unfortunately, who have succumbed to devices because they're self-medicating, because they can't. It's a lot. It's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. What I do that helps me a lot is like meditation. I work with crystals. I'm a spiritualist. I believe in the creator, and I read my Bible, and I study metaphysics and all of that. And that kind of helps balance it out for me. I think that's the one thing, aside from music itself, that has helped me. But I wouldn't even trust myself getting into all that. So I totally understand it. And I totally empathize with people that, they think they can handle it, and they start getting into these like cycles of addiction, and unfortunately it's chemical at that point, and it's a tough industry. It's really, really tough, especially when you love it and you're passionate, and all you care about is the art, and most of the actual business side of it is cruel. It's a cruel world.
No doubt. No doubt. You're talking to the guy right here that was a part of that world for a very long time. I'm sure Jeremy could definitely attest to this entertainment industry.
Exactly.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's a hard, I'm kind of in the same position as you, and especially now that the entertainment industry on my side has changed so much. I'm like you. I just want to be in front of the camera. I just want to be performing and doing what I love. And the rest of it, all that periphery BS, drives me insane. And it's the part that I have to fight through to keep my passion for doing what I'm doing. So
exactly.
I get
and
you
a
on
lot
that.
of good people give up and they give in, and
Mhm.
that's the only thing that keeps me going, is like, if we really want to see a world full of art and love and music and being there for one another, the only way to do it is to fight through all of the obstacles, all of the grit, and all of the pain. It was kind of a rude awakening for me personally in the industry, just coming from a really crazy background in my entire life, I always just felt like, well, the stage is my safe place. First of all, it's my happy place, my free place, my safe space. And I felt that, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be a singer and everything's going to be perfect and I'll be happy and I'll finally have, some peace and all of this. And I really believed all of that. And then when I saw how riddled, you have a lot of wonderful, amazing people, beautiful people, some of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life. But then there's also a dark side. And I do firmly believe that we are going through a shift energetically on the planet, and that it's going to be the millions of us, that want to see this world be a more beautiful place, a more loving place. And we all go through our stuff. I mean, I never had any kind of addiction to substances, but I do have PTSD, OCD, anxiety, and I have fallen into abuse patterns just because that was all I knew. And I fell into very dangerous situations, even as a kid, and as a teen girl, teen girls with no fathers and interesting homes end up in crazy situations. And that's also why it's so important to me to be there for my girls in the world, and for kids and all of that. And for those of us that have gone through stuff, which everyone does, everyone does.
Agreed. And we even have JC actually had kind of a flip thought to this, saying, Dave Navarro, I think being on the road in the ring is something that could help divert him in more positive direction because it's a focus, but only time will tell. Jeremy Miller, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't you say having something to focus on consistently, like performing, could be a different kind of aphrodisiac for Jeff Hardy to keep him straight?
JC, I would agree with you on that. But again, that's that individualistic thing for recovery. Some people, that is what they need. They need to get back to that part of their life so that they can keep doing it. But other people need to wait. Other people, it really is individual to the person. Some people aren't ready for all of the drawbacks that go along with that, and they need to figure out all of that first before they return to work. And it doesn't have to be performing. I mean, I've known guys in recovery who are Fortune 500 CEOs and top lawyers and things like this. And yes, their work is what drives them. And the sooner they get back to it, the better. But if they don't deal with the issues, the pressures, and find ways of dealing with that and mitigating that when they go back, they're going to end up in trouble. So again, it varies person to person. There is no blanket statement.
You guys, I love you guys, but I actually have to pack up.
No problem.
Yeah, but thank you so much for having me. And I love, that you guys are delving into some difficult topics, and it was a lot of fun.
No problem. We actually wanted to get a little bit real quick before you take off here, before we get back on here. I wanted to go ahead and ask you, I know you got some projects going on right now. You got the music video, but you got other stuff going on right now, don't you, Amanda?
I have records releasing every 6 to 8 weeks, new singles. One just dropped the other night. I have a couple of major motion pictures that I'm a part of with award-winning directors that I'm actually starring on, that I'm excited to be announcing soon. A reality show that I'm starring on that is moving forward and will be airing in the next year, as long as the stars align, which it looks like they are. Very exciting. I've been working on it for a few years. And the music. I'm going to be saying yes to a lot of events and performances. And so it was wonderful seeing you guys. I love y'all. I do have to let you get back to your thing.
No problem.
I'm at Amanda on IG.
I was just going to ask you, how can people stalk you on social media?
I'm at Listen to Amanda. I got to go, you guys.
All right. Okay. Well, you have a good one, Amanda. Thanks for coming by here. We'll see you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
So, well, thanks, Amanda Holley, for being a part of the Navarro-Miller Report. Hopefully, we'll have her back again here very soon. She's a very busy woman, so, she's got to go. When you got to go, you got to go. In other sports news, actually, Minnesota Timberwolves' Rudy Gobert suspended for punching a teammate. Now, Jeremy, this has been something that's been a habit. Mainly, and I've seen it mainly in the NBA. I don't know why, that I've seen these guys have been going at it with one another among their own teammates. It's not even against the opposite team. No. They're going at it with each other. I mean, what's going on? Like, is this like an ego thing? Because I've never seen this before in the history of the NBA. It happens with such frequency.
It's the frequency that's bothersome. We saw this a couple of times in the NFL this year, teammates going after each other on the sidelines, things like that. But then again, on a football field, you've got a team as well as assistants and everything. You got 80 some odd people on the sidelines to get there and break it up and keep it from getting too far. But we are seeing this an awful lot in sports, because it just happened recently in baseball as well. And I do believe it's an ego thing. I really do. Everybody's trying to be the top dog. Everybody's trying to, be the man on their team and establish their dominance. And, the truth is, elite athletes are mostly alpha males who want to be in charge, who want to take control, want to do things their way. And it's rare that you find a group of men like that who can gel and get along. Personally, I also think a lot of it is guys don't stick around on the same team very long anymore.
True.
And it's most prevalent in basketball, where guys are leaving after 1 year, 2 years. You don't have time for those egos to get worked out, for everybody to find their pecking order on the team, where they stand. It takes teams a long time to get that together, to gel.
I mean, look at. Well, I mean, you just said the magic word. They don't stay very long. I mean, look at OBJ. He only lasted a couple seasons, and now he's off to the Ravens. He just got traded to the Ravens, so it's not enough time to go ahead and squash any beef that you have.
Well, that's exactly it. And the truth is that stuff usually gets worked out on the practice field or on the practice court, and it has been for years. The vets would put the rookies in their place, or a guy who's not, come onto the team and is trying to dominate gets shown where his place on the team is. But I mean, I'll give you the classic example is look at the Bulls. I mean, championship Bulls with Jordan, with everything else. They still struggled for years to get to that level because they didn't have the right pieces. They didn't have the right pieces around him, people who could swallow their ego and play second fiddle to Jordan. Scottie Pippen had a hard time doing that. So it's one of the best players in the NBA who, wanted to be the man, and he had to play second fiddle. It takes guys like that a long time to work through that stuff and to come together as a team. So I think that's a big part of it now too. I think the egos, I think all of it plays a big part. But guys, you need to knock it off. I mean, this is ridiculous. It really is.
Act your age, not your shoe size.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, this is getting out of hand. I mean, JC's also saying he let us know NASCAR indefinitely suspended a driver today after an assault charge cropped up. So it's not limited to any one sport, unfortunately. I'm not sure if that assault charge was something that happened outside of NASCAR, or if it was against another driver.
But I will say JC's right. I mean, we have given, it goes back years in NASCAR as well. We've seen it many times, where a driver has gotten out of the car. There's a famous video of one of the drivers using his helmet to bludgeon another driver while dragging him out of his window after a race because he had wrecked him. So it's been going on for years. I think it's more the frequency that we're starting to see it. And it has been more frequent in the NBA. That's definitely disturbing.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll go ahead and start putting these children in a freaking corner, because apparently they need to go back to grade school and act there and because they're acting like kids right now, fighting over like this particular situation. Kyle Anderson and Rudy Gobert got into it. It was like Kyle Anderson basically told Rudy, you need to like go ahead and block some shots, and then Rudy, I guess, said, well, you need to go ahead and get some rebounds, and that's how it all started from that. It's just trash talk, but it's like what you're doing is you're causing more problems than when you need to. Like, you need to focus on the game and work as a team. That's what it's called, a team.
I will throw one thing out there, and this goes back to something I've been talking about a lot. I mean, I've on this show and forever, is that everybody's more in the limelight now. Okay. These things have been going on for 100 years in sports, but years ago, the people around the team, including the reporters, protected the team. Stories like this didn't get out. They did not hit the mainstream. I mean, you can go back all the way to Mickey Mantle and the Yankees. The beat reporters kept all of his transgressions off the front page. They were protecting their guy. It's changed. Journalists don't do that anymore because they are all looking for the story. They're all trying to break that story. So you have staffers in the room who wouldn't have talked 25 years ago, who are running to whatever media outlet they can to get a paycheck for a quote and to talk about these things. I think that also has something to do with it. I honestly think these things did happen more often than we heard about in years past. It's just that it never made it to the front page.
And you know what? I have to agree with you. Because it's funny because obviously we know that UFC, the UFC event happened this past weekend, but before that, during the weigh-ins last Friday, Jorge Masvidal got into kind of a altercation with Kevin Holland, and it spilled into the streets apparently, and they were just basically talking crap back and forth and everything. So when they were in the press conference, I think this was actually before the weigh-ins or after the weigh-ins, I don't remember which, the reporters asked, what was that about? And Dana White immediately put a stop to it and said, guys, these are two fighters. Show a little more respect. You're talking about two guys that aren't even fighting this weekend. Okay. Focus on these two fighters. However, here's my however to that. The reporters aren't trying to start anything. They're just trying to get to the bottom line as to what happened from something that the fighters started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just trying to say, hey, we all saw it on social media. We all have questions. We are the outlet for the public. We are the ones that could tell the story, but we're giving you an opportunity to tell us what happened between the two of you that you guys wanted to get into a fight with one another, and you guys aren't even fighting this weekend. For Dana White to go ahead and hush the reporters, I'm not in agreement with that, because at the end of the day, we're the ones, and I'm saying this because I'm a journalist, we are the ones that are trying to get to the bottom line as to what happened. We could, other that, or we'll just make our own shit up. And we'll say, okay, well then this and this happened. No, we can't do that. As good reporters, we need to be accurate and we need to tell the truth. And the only people that could tell the truth are the ones that were involved in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So in a sense, you know, I mean, you can't hide it. You can't do that anymore.
Well, the game has changed, and I'm not criticizing the reporters. I mean, it'd be nice if there was more team loyalty. You know, I'd prefer more of it from the staffers and the people who work for the team, because seriously, where do you think these reporters are getting their information from? That's who it's coming from. I'm not saying we need to go back to the old days where the, you know, journalists protected and kept these stories off the front page. In fact, I would argue that it did more of a detriment back then, because these guys got away with a lot of stuff they really shouldn't have been. And a lot of things were covered up and not covered because, oh, you can't do that. You know, you can't sell out the local hero. I think the bigger problem for me is, where are they getting the information? It's not coming from the players. It's certainly not coming from the executives. So it's got to be coming from the staffers, the trainers, the people who stock the locker rooms. All of those periphery people are starting to talk now. And truthfully, if you're hired by this organization, unless it's something completely illegal and egregious, you need to keep your mouth shut and show some team loyalty.
Agreed.
These people are paying your salary.
Agreed. In a certain sense, agreed. And speaking of UFC, obviously we know that Israel Adesanya went ahead and he defeated Alex Pereira this past UFC.
It's about time.
And yeah, this is like their fourth fight together. Mm-hmm. So they finally, Israel got his belt back. He beat him. However, that's not the story here. Mm-hmm. The story actually has to do with Israel mocking Alex Pereira's son. Now, a few years ago, back when his son was like, I don't know, 6 years old or something like that, when Alex knocked out Israel, his son kind of did, and there was a video of this, his son kind of mocked Israel by hitting himself and then going to sleep right next to Israel. Israel didn't take too kindly to that. And even at the time, he was kind of like, you know, he actually, during his post press fight interview on Saturday, he even said, "I'm like, you effing little a-hole. I'll whoop your ass if your dad don't do it for you." I looked for his kid. I pointed at him and I saw him and I was like, hey, just to remind him what is he talking about? Well, after the fight was over, after Israel knocked out Pereira, he decided to mock his son. he comes up to the cage, goes up to somebody like, hey, look at me. And then he goes down like if he's knocked out, mocking his son. Israel is having a fight with a 12-year-old, okay? Let's put some perspective on that. Bro, you just won the UFC championship, okay? You just knocked out your rival. You just did a great thing. Why? Oh my God, why are you acting like, are you actually picking a fight with a 12-year-old? Okay, this is a child. All right?
To me, all that says is that is a very insecure man, because I have no problem with him mocking Pereira. Okay, yeah. I have no. Pereira has done it for years. He's got his celebration thing with the arrow he does afterwards and all this other stuff. Giving it back to him a little bit is no big deal, especially when Israel is exercising demons. He fought this guy 3 times. He got knocked out 2 of the 3 times. You know, this has been the one guy he couldn't beat. So to finally beat him and then throw it back in the guy's face a little bit, it might not be the classiest thing to do, but I understand it. But going after a 12-year-old kid for something he did 6 years ago is ridiculous. And it seriously makes him look insecure. I'm sorry, you are the UFC champion and you're going after a 12-year-old to make fun of him. That's pretty ridiculous.
And he even doubled down in the interview and he actually said, he's like, well, he did it to me. So I was like, I'm going to do it back to him. What? How old are you? Like, you're really? How old are you? I mean, come on. Again, I understand it. Like you said, Jeremy, I understand him doing it back to Pereira because Pereira did it to him. And I get that. He even like at the end, when he knocked him out, he even did the arrow thing back at him, which is kind of payback. But come on, the kid, it's a kid. He's a kid. All right. Yep. What are you going to get into a little shoving contest with him next? Are you going to go ahead and like give him a wedgie? Like, come on, seriously?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Israel needs to, grow up a little bit if he's pulling that kind of crap.
And we even have JC agreeing. He says bell to bell, Israel is a full-on adult, but apparently between the bouts, he's an overgrown juvenile and decided to reveal it on or the universe at the expense of Alex's little boy. Yeah, it's just, to me, I don't get these guys. I really don't get these guys. This new generation of UFC fighters to go ahead and be picking on a little kid. You're the UFC champion. You should celebrate. Be happy. You beat your rival. No need to go ahead and stick it in deeper there. Come on.
Like I said, it reeks of insecurity to me. I mean, why do you have to go after a child to prove your point? It's pretty ridiculous.
It's pretty stupid. That's the news. In case you haven't heard it, thank you so much for joining us here on the Navarro-Miller Report. Again, thank you so much for Amanda Holley for being our special guest co-host on the show. Hopefully we'll get to have her here again very soon. Jeremy, do I have to see you on Friday? Do I have to?
Yeah, you're gonna have to. I'm sorry. I want to ruin your weekend.
You do that anyway. I mean, come on. But we will be back here on Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to go ahead and show you guys, again, a lot more crazy news, more TikToks. Jeremy, get a freaking TikTok. Some more entertainment and sports news. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us. And don't forget to watch out for tomorrow, the recast of the show. Audio, we are on Amazon Music. We are on iHeartRadio, the iHeartRadio app. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We're all over the place. You will get sick of us guaranteed, but you'll still love us at the same time. I could tell you this much. I'm always sick of Jeremy, but that's okay. Aside from that, I'm your host, Dave Navarro, along with this guy right here,
Jeremy Miller.
We leave you now with Amanda Holley's brand new hit music video, Flavor I'm sorry, I can't even talk. Favorite flavor. I can't talk right now. We leave you now with the music video. Hopefully, we will see you guys this next time, this Friday at 6 p.m. I'm sorry, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on YouTube and other streaming apps. And we will definitely see you guys next time.
Core made it lit.
I've been losing sleep at night, thinking about what it feels like. Yeah, just a little bit of you on my lips, tingles in goes from my tongue to my hips. Yeah, no, I can't get anywhere else but from you, from you. I tried so hard, but I can't resist. Taste of you, baby. The taste of you can't help but savor. Set the table for two. You're my favorite flavor. Only and only on my worst behavior. The taste of you is my favorite flavor. Favorite flavor, favorite flavor, flavor. I've been going deep at night, fantasizing what you feel like. Logic would say we'd never be together. You got me in a way I need it forever, forever. I need it forever. I can't get it anywhere else but from you, from you. I tried so hard, but I can't resist. Taste of you, baby. The taste of you can't help but savor. Set the table for two. You're my favorite flavor. Only and only on my worst behavior. The taste of you is my favorite flavor. Favorite flavor, favorite flavor. Set the mood, taste the juice, 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 juice. Intoxicating, don't keep me waiting. Juice, juice, juice. So major, major, major. Your flavor, flavor, your flavor.
No, it's me, bitches. Hang on, I think they're calling you on the night.